Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone had a nice Christmas. We did. We certainly did. So, when I was doing hair my whole life, from the time I was 16 until I was 62, if there was a holiday, the very next day I would go back to work. So, the next day is back to work or back to whatever you're doing as usual. And that is a very, very important skill that has served me well. Last week I bought these, see these sunglasses? These are really nice. I bought them for $1. So today I'll be shopping around a little bit. As long as there's not too many people in the thrift store, I can dash in and dash out real quick. And I was able to work a little bit. And I also got this Coach glasses case. So when you're in the sunglasses business, you need cases. So that was $2.99 and this was $1, so good deal. So what was I doing before this holiday happened? Christmas is really just one day. When I was doing hair, if Christmas fell on a Friday, people wouldn't come back to work until Monday. And then by then they would really need the money. And one time I was working for this woman and she goes, well, there's no business between Christmas and New Year's. And she went to Las Vegas and she came back and she didn't want to pay me until Monday. And I said, no, you are going to pay me right now and you can give me a check. And she was so worried sick I was going to cash it. But I just thought that was the ultimate rude. I'm in Las Vegas and I can't pay your paycheck. But this was my whole life. Another thing they used to do is 1 month vacation. What, you're a jet setter? I mean, and so what I would do, early on I was working with this lady from Switzerland. And she says, well, we're having a month-long vacation. And that meant I was having a month-long vacation without pay, so I went and quit and found another job. And this would happen to me. These people would take a month off. Okay, so we're now all forced. Some of us have had to take, 9 months off. President Joe Biden said, the darkest days are ahead. He could have been referring to the coronavirus, which is bad. If it's darker than last year, they're saying 5 million people died, then more than 5 million people are expected to die. My uncle died. Several members in my family got it. Fortunately, only my uncle died. It wasn't fortunate, it was bad. Okay, so yesterday was Christmas, so today I will work a little bit. I will try to work a little bit. Okay, so now the next thing I want to talk about is what we're watching for is a depression coming. I was watching videos by Jewish rabbis. And one said his grandmother said, well, yeah, it was bad, but we didn't really think that was going to happen. They wouldn't dare. Well, they dared. And then I heard when the Germans were losing, they killed more Jews than ever. So darker days are coming. And so what would be really dark is a lot of times after disease follows famine or maybe a depression. So this is what we're watching for, stock market crash. Okay, they don't say, you guys pull all your money out of the stock market, it's gonna crash. No, they pull all their money out and it starts to crash. So, so far it hasn't crashed, but if it does crash, we would want to expect a depression. Or if it, what do they call it? If there's a contraction. A bad contraction. We're watching for a stock market crash. Okay, number 2, during the Depression, several years of consumer spending and investment dropped because they didn't trust companies to invest, and they weren't about to spend any money. Are you kidding? It's a depression. The depression was 10 years, but a lot of people stayed very frugal. My family was frugal before the depression. Okay, so for several years, consumer spending and investment dropped. Causing, now this is bad too, causing a steep decline in industrial output and unemployment. They laid the people off their jobs. They just weren't, there was no industrial output. Okay, my son and I were talking, and like this year, the Christmas decorations, I went into Walgreens. I thought I would buy some stuff. I did get this half price. This looks good, and then you get the little tin. And I did buy this because I thought this would be just nice to have. These are expensive. I bought this for my son. Don't tell him. And then I bought, these candies are really yummy. So I got them all half price. So that was awesome. Okay, but there was like nothing. And Walgreens really didn't have ornaments. And my son and I, the stores were empty yesterday and cleaned out like locusts. So they just order less is produced. A lot of stuff was produced in China. China does affect us. China is a thorn in our sides. All right. Okay, banking panics and monetary contraction. People lost their money in the banks. So you go to the bank and you say, I want to take all my money out, and they say, sorry, the stampede of people has already cleaned us out. And so a lot of banks bankrupted. There was just no money. Now we're supposed to have insurance, but if there was a mass stampede, your bank can bankrupt. And so one thing that happened is people did not, they had foreclosures, and they did not pay on things that they bought. And we might be seeing that. So far, we haven't seen a mass eviction and foreclosure. And what are these called when you don't, like say if I didn't make a repo on my car, and when we see that in mass, that harms the banks. So then what happens? Well, then the bank's not very picky about who they lend to. And I've been in a couple of these recessions where people couldn't get credit. Some time ago when I was working in a bank, I always had the hot men clients. I was doing this banker's hair, and he said, beef up your credit. These people that tell you drop your credit, I think that's not a good idea. I'm listening to the banker, so I took his advice. So when people start defaulting, it hurts us all because it's harder to get credit. I remember a shop I worked in, and I would cash all of our checks because no one could cash their checks. And I was telling my son, furthermore, cash money is king. So, we want to keep that in mind. Okay, now another thing we're watching for this declines in industry. They're saying, oh, it's the supply chain. Oh, there was big holdups in England because of the corona. The truckers can get the stuff through. So they seem to be a few months ahead of us. In China, they just lie, so who knows? Okay, the gold standard. Okay, do I think all of the currency, all the American dollars are backed by gold? No, I do not. Another thing is if the gold and silver was to dip severely, I have seen it high in my life, and I've seen it low. Okay, so last week silver took a dive. I think it went down to about $19 one day, which is, I think it was, I'm not sure. If you can buy just one silver coin a month. Decreased international lending and tariffs. The coronavirus is affecting all the countries. So we go back to the banks. If they default on their loans, then they're going to have a hard time getting loans. So we want to watch this international trade thing. And then evictions and repossessions. Hope not. Another thing that was really bad, and of course it happened, was a year-long drought in the Dust Bowl. So what happened is they didn't take care of their soil conservation. This was Texas and all along, the agricultural area, and there was a terrible drought, and then the farmlands were affected right on top of the Depression. So what were these people eating during the Depression? So we want to take note of this and eat it every once in a while so we get used to it if we ever have to eat it. Chili, I don't mind. I made a pretty decent chili with a can of chili and some hamburger. Macaroni and cheese, I make my own. I just make white gravy with cheese and macaroni, cream, chicken, and biscuits. I think one of the best things I made was I just cooked the chicken in some chicken. I cook it and I add a bouillon cube, maybe some noodles, maybe some vegetables, and tear up biscuits and throw them on top like dumplings. Okay, so now this brings me to the third and final point. Frugality meant survival. So what we want to get it into our mind is it's not a joke. Well, you're a cheap ass. Really? Well, that's fine, because you just got back from your vacation, you retard, and you can't pay me my paycheck, which was a very small paycheck. Or that's fine, because come Monday morning, I probably find a few more of these things and I will sell them. Frugality means survival. So what we're doing is we're just saying, okay, how can I cut corners? How can I be as frugal as possible, but not misery-making frugality? Frugality as a way of life. Like once my car is paid for, which is almost paid for, praise Jesus, then I want to take care of my car so I don't have to buy another car for. I try to keep my cars 10 years if I can. I don't have a long commute. Okay, so number one, so during the Depression, and we're trying to figure out if we're heading to one, there was a mass starvation. A lot of people in the United States, it's like the Nazi thing. Yeah, it's looking bad, but I don't want to think about it and I don't want to worry about it. Everything will be fine. Well, everything will probably be fine ultimately if you don't starve. Furthermore, why cause yourself senseless misery? Just stockpile a little food. And sustenance survival. So, I mean, that could be lowly. Okay, the people over here, let me give you another shot of the neighborhood. See the street people over there? They're surviving. Some of us don't want to go there. So, frugality is a way of life, finding everything at the cheapest possible price. Painless frugality. Painless ways to cut. Like I have my water bottle in here, and I will fill it up for 20 cents. Am I going to be suffering severely? No. Okay, and postpone large purchases. I think it was Japan. This really impacted their economy. The people sat around and waited until the prices dipped way down to, buy stuff, and it really messed up. They're done anyway. They have problems because of the age of the population. once the age of the population is 46, they don't spend much. They just save. For one thing, you don't need anything. I'm the hardest person. Oh, I got something nice. I got a nice big bottle of Versace perfume. If you want to see it, go to my Instagram. And it's perfect for my cruise, because what I love is, it's like gardenia or something. It's a perfect fragrance for me. My son got it. And so I put my hair like in a side ponytail with like some kind of like flower type things with my cruise attire, and that cologne is the best. So I got that for Christmas, and I got a new tripod, which I was very happy about that. Okay, so postpone large purchases, like until I see the coast is totally clear. There would be no way I would buy a new car unless I got a really super duper deal or something like that. So, okay, you guys, happy holidays and God bless you all.